מצב המתנה עד לתחילת השיעור. כאשר אינכם מוכנים להתחיל בשיעור, הקישור על 5. אינכם עוברים כרגע בשיעור. בסיום תמכו את הקו.
Dus de koelen hier met de gazen. Dat is zo'n koel kan aanvegen. Ik ben zeer wel eens te aanvegen, als te aanvegen altijd. So I shouldn't forget, this is supposed to be in English.
Yeah.
The Pure has a very interesting question. Claudius said, Na'asa, ונשמע. Everyone asked that question. How can I do Na'asa without listening what I have to do? The whole Mahalach on Kabbalah Satira. What is a Yid? Moyanayim and Pasha says the whole Shmis. What is a Yid exactly? And Huga Yisraelis. When is the second? You do laws. Everybody has laws. Everyone has what you do, what you shouldn't do. Stuka hefgeweld do. From the größte hefgeweld is all the side. There's also laws. What is that? What is the specialty of a Yid? That he can stand there, nobody can stand there. And if we're talking about Simcha. But no one explains how do you get to that Simcha. So there are all kinds of ways how to get to Simcha. The artificial ways, music, the tzida, etc., which we know that a Yiddish, they say a falsche Simcha is better than a emesdike atzvus. Why? Because a falsche Simcha, false Simcha, comes to the Kedusha somewhere along the line. But atzvus, how true it can be, it always comes out from a good place. B'chlal Chassidim were always busy to be b'simcha. Why? A person has enough challenges in his life. You can sum them up in 3 personal challenges that people have. There's internal challenges, emotional challenges, as they call it. Then he has challenges with his misfallings, his kishloinis, his failures, which is again emotional, but it's a little stronger because there's a zigel for the more internal emotional.
You already tried something.
Internal emotional, we're all born with that. The Yetzer Lev wouldn't have any of. We always have that positive thinking, we have that negative thinking. Then comes the failures that I can have very stamped that I'm a failure. Which the whole world, there's no such thing as tshiva, only by Claudius was muksha by the tshiva only. Ein tzadik mi yochayin lamed. And thirdly, sometimes we're in a war zone, like we're now, in an uncomfortable place, which, if that's not enough, and that's also pressuring. I say a vertel that, it's a true vertel that the Rebbe had a brother, the side of the Rebbe in Haifa. In those days, you had to travel from the upper city of Haifa, Hadar, to downtown. You had to go through an Arab village as Khalisa. And they used to shoot in those days. Nothing changed since then. And you had to go into a command car, closed up. You had 10 people in the Chalutz, they started traveling and go through that Arab village. They used to shoot and come down. This armored car. So the Rebbe used to say that the car filled up, and there was 2 old ladies in the back. When they started getting close to the Arab village, started shooting. So here's one woman tells the other woman, Oy, vay, mir, tzema, schwach, harz, or no chat ma kol nekop ochet. It's my weak heart. I can get a bullet in my head too. And sometimes a person has his weak heart from his emotions, he has his weak hearts from his failures. Sometimes he has his surroundings. So Chassidim says we must work on Simcha to find yourself always enough that what you're suffering on. Don't add on any salt of effort to this, because the triggers that are failures of a person, and the triggers is usually when you're not besimcha. It says the Torah Yan Asher lo yavartas Hashem lekecha besimcha v'tuv levav. It says that the whole Torah came because you were not besimcha. There's bigger averes than simcha, but we always know when a person does something wrong, there's a trigger that triggers him, and then he loses it, and whatever happens is you have to get a foolish thought to get in, but not that to get in, there must be something that triggered me. So Chassidim were always very happy. I don't know if the oldest, but Chassidim used to go around with a flask from Brofen, 96, whatever they were, low key, so I think Malachim, that kept him going. Before in the old days, we was essen, they had no panus, etc., but the Matzavuach was always there singing and dancing. That kept him going. Balatanya makes order. There's a whole Purpukim, Chovuf, Chozayin, Chovches, Chovtes, Lamed Aleph, Lamed Beis too. Then he makes cider of how to cope with this. So the first thing, if it's, as we said, you're in a war zone, you're in hard times, so that is very special. He says there's a special letter that he writes in the Geras HaKodesh, Geras Yud Aleph Laskil Chalbinu. The whole Yid always has to know that is what's he here for? Is he here for Chai Busa, for particular life, or are you here for Rochnis, or are you here for spiritual? It's a mail every time a person goes through a hardship, actually it's a hisdamnus, it's a opportunity to go over from materialism to spiritualism. He calls it alma diskasya, alma disgalya. When things go straight as I understand, I don't have to work for it. Just like in exercise, you have to do exercise to keep your body fit, to keep your mind fit. When you go through hardships, actually, you have to stretch out your emotions and your intellectual and all of it to work on it. I don't know, someone say, someone used to get very nervous. They asked him, "How come you're getting so nervous? It's not nice." Well, my IQ is very high, but my EQ is very low. So they asked him back, "Well, what are you using your IQ for?" You have to use your IQ for the EQ. That means a person, when he's in a hardship, the EQ cannot help him. The EQ gets all messed up, the emotional quotients. But if you're strong, intelligent, they say al tzadek, chacham, start using your intellectual, which is called alma diskasya, because He runs the world. The things that I don't understand, and things that I won't understand, but things that I can connect to, that we're talking about the last few weeks, which is a minute pshita, which that can push me in that direction only in times of hardship. So we can use, what's that?
Only in times when I don't understand.
Only times?
It says only in times when you don't understand.
Only times you don't understand, but you have to, so you can't, you don't, a person does not, it doesn't volunteer for that. Only when he must do it. So we go into that mode of the Corona Maget Nae Welt, there's all kinds of family, the close ones and not the close ones, which you don't know, I don't know the vocabulary of this damage. That means hard times bring in all kinds of new using your intellectual to control your emotional. As Chassidus says, the emotional connects you to the intellectual, because the way that it comes down, it starts off with Chochmah bin Adas, which is intellectual. Then it comes to Chesed, Gvir, Tveres, Netzachot, Yisod, Malchus, which is emotional. But as long as the person is not pushed to the corner to use intellectual, so right now, everybody out of the room, I can't take it. But if you're sitting with your children, you're sitting, something is not going, so you leave everything and you give yourself away. So that's, the Baratanya has a few shmisna about that. Every Meitzah brings you to the hidden intellectual, to the uncovered intellectual, called Alma Diskasya, Yudke is Diskasya, Vuvke is Gali, Yudke, Vuvke is two parts. This Gali is the emotions, that you can see a person is nervous, and I have to work hard on that. But what's in his mind, you can only see Bekisa, Bekoisa, Bekasa, then you can see his intellectual do. If his intellectual controls his emotional or doesn't control the emotional. The Rush used to call it Toivli ki inesi, Laman el matchikechu. Chikechu, that is to go into the Alma Diskasya. That's Mishputechu. Mishputechu is something that I understand. And Chikechu is something I don't understand, but I'm ready to accept it because I know it's true. So now in order to live Chikechu with the Alma Diskasya, with the hidden understanding, is Toivli ki inesi. Whenever I have a hardship, what's so good about it? It's good that it's I have to force my exercise with my brain. Called the company is mindstorming. That is a brainstorming. That is what I say. You have to do some brainstorming with yourself, otherwise you're going to lose it altogether. And never have people at the age of 50 act like small children when things go wrong. But you can. Rusha told us when we were young, everybody's selling you the best that can be, the best chinuch, the best derech avodas Hashem that can be. Rusha should tell us the difference you're going to see when you get older. And when there is no more anymore the emotions. If you didn't work on it in the first 50 years, it's a little bit too late to start at the age of 70. That's the big nafkin min abessens. Tamid harchim bezman shemizdaknim is data mit yashev, the IQ sits down. Mashenk and the ones that were all of the life busy with emotional and outside, never connected to themselves, as we call it these days. What's called connected to myself? Connect to myself means I have to connect to my higher power, which is called the Alma Diskasya, we call it. Alma Diskasya is the chelik that you have from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's your higher power, and which is called Yudke. The only way a person can connect to a higher power is only from his flaws, and only from his helplessness, and only from his meitzah. Then automatically when I'm in Merchav, so I don't get overwhelmed emotionally, because I know there's something else also to everything. So that's the Tanya gives us a way how to cope with the outside turmoils, that I have to cope myself and set myself up. Second, what we saw about failures, a person falls. So the Baratanya comes along, and the Baratanya says that we have something called Tshiva. Mukim Shabbat Tshiva Om, and Tzadikim Me'echayim, there are always times that you can take care of it. A person has to set away, more the chishmana, he has to set away time before he goes to sleep, before he learns. Every time that he's doing something spiritual, sit down, Rבינו Shalom. Rebbe used to say, Rusha Malach Ulasapachika, Rusha Malach Ulasapachika, Rusha Malach Ulasapachika. Then he used to say, I promise, from now on I'll do Tshiva. Yaakov Yitzchak V'Martin, you promised already once, then I only said it, but now I really mean it. That means we have times that you go into Tshiva. It says the Balatanya, what's the mila about that? Because when you put it first, you put it away. So now don't bother me. Right now I have to do the Shemiyah. So it says the you have to come now when I'm in the middle of a mitzvah. We'll make a time for that. Tshiva is a mitzvah like every mitzvah. So don't come now that you're not. We'll take care of it. And that's number one. Number two, when I take care of it myself, that means when I'm when I'm inviting the cheshbon nefesh, then I can control the two. It's not controlling me. When my cheshbon nefesh comes in the middle of the day, why I fell here, I fell there, and it gets me all messed up, and I can't go further. But if I say we'll take care of it, so I'm controlling it. When I'm controlling it, so I take it to a certain point, and then I see there are certain things that I do was mitzliach. So tashmi'eni susa v'simcha, he calls it. It's at the end of the day, I see how much I am not, and I see how much I am. So I see that Kodesh Baruch Hu is helping me, and that is called actually tshuva. Tshuva is called that we give everything back, after to the Rebbeinu, which that's the derech of Rebbe we'll speak about soon. That the whole reason why a person falls is because he forgot who's holding him. Now, so he takes the einodum oimad v'aluchanim ken nichshava. He brings the falling to elevate what is positive things that it's not from him, it's from the Rebbeinu. Then, what a person, nobody did him nothing, and he's busy all day with his internal sufferings. That's the hardest of all the three. Belzuf calls it Psalm to Pedis ben Amel ben Amechu, Pedis Shulach la'amay, Vahabe immer Pedis, the three gulesten. Yidden bagoyim, Yidden ban a zweiten Yid, Yidden bagoyim, one Yid by another Yid, and a Yid is in gules bazich alayim by himself. That is the hardest gules of all the gulesten. There you need Vahabe immer for this. There you need a Kodesh Baruch Hu. So you have to work real hard. Balatanya himself has Perek Chov Zayin, Chov Ches, Chov Tes, all kinds of ways how to tackle this, because it's only between you and yourselves. But actually, that's where you get your most koiches once you tackle with that. So a simple thing it says that we have to know when the Torah says Lo Yisusiri Achre Levavchem ve'Achre Aneichem, the Torah is talking about these types of Aneichem, these types of Levavchem. They'll take me for I can promise you I saw them looking at me. Nobody's looked at you, nobody saw you, nobody's thinking about you. If it messes you up, the Torah says you have to keep on going positive. But again, in order to keep the avodas Hashem, we have to come to Simcha. So you have to get Tanya says you have to get all your obstacles that keep you away from happiness, get them out of the way. Each one of the three. The Busha added on, where is Simcha? What is the definition of Simcha? Everybody's busy with that. How do you definition Simcha? Busha says the definition of Simcha we can only learn. And much like Sasa said, we can learn it from a small child. Where you see a small child when the mother is holding it, and feeding it, and cleaning it, and singing to it, the child is happy. That's a pure happiness. If you want to know what happiness is, the definition says the Torah, the Melech Shamalos Hashem lo yiguv alivi, lo rumi aynai, lo elachti, bigdoilis, and the fluas femani. The Melech says, I never held myself big, didn't build big mansions, big gardens. I kept myself very simple. Rashi says, Doimani lefanechu, Timi she'en lo yadayim v'raglayim ki goylam mitru negdechu. Gol miru einecha. The more I feel that I'm not capable for anything, the more, if I have something that brings me happiness, I'm being taken care of. So he keeps on saying in the same kapitel, Kif Lamed Aleph, Im lo shavisi v'demamti, nafshi ki gumel ale imay. So what do I, if I want to, so what am I equal to? I'm equal like Gumel, a small child, and the Ale Imay, and the hands of the mother. That is the happiest that can be. The Bruce used to say the child can prepare his bottle, he can hold the bottle, he can clean himself. The happiness is I'm seeing him being taken care of. That means anything that a person takes for himself credit, from one side he's very happy about it, from the other side he's right away in danger that when it won't go as it was, then if he had something, he lost it. So might as well, from day one, that a person has enough failures, as we said before, a person has enough zmanim of war zone, as we said, of hardships. He has enough zmanim that he's in low key. So even when I'm high key, I have to remember the times that I was low key. The made of the times of high key is a Kodesh Baruch Hu giving me. So then I sort out even the positive, the negative comes to give me a mashmus, more, is that as mashmus?
Definition.
A definition for the positive times. Without that negative, I wouldn't get there. As we said, the same thing as my failures. If I would never fail this, I would never learn. So I used to use the mushla person learns Hilchas Shabbos, and he remembered how you have to do Shabbos. You have to make a coffee. You have to put first the hot water and then the milk, etc. And sudden person just made the opposite. Like he makes the middle of the week and someone says Shabbos. So this halacha he'll remember, but if he never fell through, he won't remember this halacha because so strongly. The same thing is in business. The same thing is in President Lincoln. Thing said everyone's entitled to make a mistake, but make it only once. Because without that once, you'll never learn not to make the mistake. But once you do the mistake, then you learn it. So that means every negative comes to teach you a positive. We used to call it just like electric company gives the electricity, they give the positive. We in our house have to prepare the negative. If we have positive, it'll shoot out the whole. So the whole life of a person is always, the more he takes his positive and sees I am negative. How do I know that I am negative? That means Udam Yesoidim over the Soifel. So if he has something, it must be Vayipach Ba'apav Nishmas Chaim. So the more I hear V'nafshi Kuf ala Koyt, so how can I daven? How am I davening? It must be Hashem Seful Setiftach V'yagetim Secho. That means the more I see my negative, actually that gives me the positive. That was the whole avoidance of the Uvis Avlom, Yitzchak, Yankov, Moshe, Aaron, Yosef and David. They didn't come to the completion. Avlom till he didn't hear. Anoichi Ufa Va'ayef. Yitzchak was with Al-Qaeda. Yankov went through all the hardships that he went through. Moshe Rבינו was brought up in the house of Pari. Ahan had some special, he made an eigel whenever he went into the Mizbech, which is Lifnim, the biggest, he always saw an eigel there in front of his eyes, so he knew it's not him. So he knew it's not him. If he went in here, he must be Boishim with him in here. He also, we find the Torah, what he went through, but he's always be Kol Hashem Hashem Matzliach. Judah and David, which was busy a lot about, David Melech Chai V'Kaim. All the other 6 never fell through the Poil, but the only one that fell through the Poil was David HaMelech, but Mishom ותזכו תהיינה אל התורה, because he learned from it. So we have to understand what does it mean Eina Choyte, what does it mean he learned from it. Comes the Piyutz and explains. Torah, we have two ways to go to Torah. One is called Nishma, and then Nasa. And one is called Nasa, and then Nishma. So he says there's no such thing that a person should do something without he heard it before. As we said before in Parshas Mishputim, there is Kodim Kol Hashadib Hashem Nasa, and then after it says Nasa v'Nishma. So the question is, where do you stop? The Gemara says that a Pekoyes told Reuven, what are you guys doing? And before understanding what you're doing. First you have to understand what you're doing, and then you have to do. But, as we spoke before, what is the Torah for? The Torah is actually to get you out of the material into spiritual. The only way you can get into spiritual is you go into the alma, the iskasya. You go beyond your strength, you go beyond your understanding, you go beyond your helplessness, and you see, if I'm doing something, it's not me. That means there's 2 ways how to do a mitzvah. There's a mitzvah you can sit down and be busy shmir, well, we do it this way, we do it that way, this way, that way. And then I got it straight, okay, we're into it. And then you finish the day, you put on 3 films, 4 films, as much as you need. Everything is through. But Piyut says, the Baal Shem Tov Kodesh said, after chomasing and alam anasugas benachana and gleib, it's not enough that I understood indeed, Because what I understand is bounded. What I do is also only for the koich. We need eizeshu mesiras nefesh. Where do I give the mesiras nefesh? That what I did, I also don't understand how I did it. I don't understand how I accomplished it. I'm not sure that I did it right, but I'm doing it because Kodesh Baruch Hu told me to do it. So then the Mandel says a person that davens and feels that he finished davening, then he never started davening. Why? Because the two parts of davening is davening, which is you have to go and checklist, but there's a davening that you have to be connected to your weaknesses. You have to be connected to your higher power. But as long as you're not weak, you don't have. There's no reason why to connect to the higher power. So Klal Yisrael, when they got the Torah, they said we're not going to stop by Nishma and Nasa. We're going to do Nasa, but Nishma has two meanings. Nishma means listening. Nishma is also by Shama Shur Les'om. To get one, the material is the Alma is Galdi and the Alma is Kasha should be one. My hidden part and my open part that I understand, what I don't understand, I should know there's a koyach hapoyal banifal. In these things that are going on, there must be some hidden koyach out there that's running it. Where do I do that? Only when I do more than my koyach. There was a gab in shul in Tel Aviv. There's a shul which is called Alam Dod Gedav and Kleim Alam. I guess in Tel Aviv. And there's a gab of Fligzum. We're giving you away more than our koyches. From you, we need your koyches. That means, as long as you don't give away more than your koyches, then you're not connected to you're connected to the koyches of the Ribbono Shel Olam, but you're not connected to koyches of Ribbono Shel Olam with your cognitive, as we call it, with your mina. It's there anyways, the Kodesh Baruch Hu. But the more a person is connected to his mina, to his hidden koyches, the more he gets from that, the more he has the more chiddush, the more he gets more koyches, more simcha. So where is simcha? Simcha is when I see there's something beyond me that's helping me all the time, that brings simcha. But as long as the person is only busy with what I understand and the way I do it, and etc., there's always blemishes. There's always something that don't get to the end, and there's something out there that it's very spooky to them. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to think about it. But if after those spooky places that I get out, if it's in my surrounding, if it's in my failures, if it's in my emotions, that I know at any minute I can come up into a certain emotional that I don't know how I'm going to control it. So that itself helps me right now to push me that what I do have is not for me, it's from Ribbono Shel Olam. So then there is no reason why I should get to those places, to the trigger. Because even if it does come, I know it comes to reevaluate my positive. The Melech says, "V'shem Hashem eku, tzur v'yugen emtzu, v'shem Hashem eku, kois v'shiyas esu, zol Shem Hashem eku." Whenever things go wrong or go right, I always see it as we should call the Nara Metzias, as a sibah to get me on the way to get to the Ribbono Shel Olam. So it sounds very nice, very sorry?
It's a nice speech.
Nice speech. But how do I know if you're really connecting to the Ribbono Shel Olam, or you're just using it as an akramol, as an aspirin to get rid of you? Okay, God, I know what you want. I'm in, and just take it away, the hardships, and I'm with you. Says the Bush, the question is, how much are you ready to listen to hardships of a friend? Usually we're only busy with our own hardships. Hardships from the wider outside, leave me alone, I'm in here, have alarms, have cameras, I'm not available today, I'm not ready to hear any problems. What comes the Baal Shem Tov makes the hardships, it's not only your hardships, any hardship that you hear, that you see, that comes to your eyes, it comes to your mind, you have to know that it's actually showing your blemishes. That used to add on, never the other guy has to go through his hardships, that I should see that well, I'm not it's not so simple, it's him helping me. then you have nothing to run away. Then we can test you if you're really into connecting to Ribbono Shel Olam and you care that actually what you understand that any hardship that's out there, it's helping you to get closer to Ribbono Shel Olam. Then you have two things. One, we see you're serious, and secondly, your own hardships become peanuts by you. And when I see what a Luciana hot is ma'am pekel, as they say, in Yiddish they say that everyone's going to put the pekel on the table and we can change, everyone's going to take his pekel home. So that says Rebusha, how can I see if we're really into, he calls it Shchinta Begalisa. Shchinta Begalisa means that Baruch created the world in order that he should be the famous one. When I take something to myself, that's called Guva Libi. That's called the Rubi Eine. The Bigdoilis of Nusman. The Buddha says, Loi Guva Libi. How can I check it out? I can check it out if it's a Gumel Ala Ima. If you feel that you are doing something, or you're just like a Gumel, you're not doing anything, your mother's doing it. So you have double. Once you connect to Ribbono Shel Olam, and that is the Simcha. Das ist Mishanechnes Uda. Marvin be Simcha. We come into Uda because Baruch took everything away. Lahashmed, Laharig, Laabed, Eskola, Yehidim. We were all in the same boat. No exceptions. Everybody was in the same boat. So usually when I'm in the boat and he's not in the boat, so it's a Chanaitzigin. But once we're all in the same boat, so Esther Malka said, as long as Laich, wie steht, zusammennehmen der Volk, ja, 10 Jahre Lai, ja, 30 Jahre Lai, gam an ihr, wenn Reise Yutzimkai, we have to get everybody together, because Human said the whole koyach is, mefizer mefoyed. That means from one side we're one, but as long as we're only one with myself, not one with everyone, we're not one. When is a person one with everybody, when he knows he's only a part of a cloud, then the cloud gives koyach to the part, and the part, every part gives koyach to the cloud. Then we can be one. We'll sum up what we asked in the beginning was that na'asa ונשמע, נשמע ונעשה. You need both things. You have to know what you're going to do. Without knowing the laws, without knowing the rules, without learning Hilchas Shabbos 1,000 times, a person cannot make through Shabbos. But once you did make the Shabbos, you have to know na'asa ונשמע. We said, because Baruch says, the Moshe Rabbeinu, Matune toive yeshli beveis genuzai, lech veitu, I have a very special present in my hidden away. Lech v'hoidia. What is lech v'hoidia? It should be lech v'titnam. What does it go tell them? Give it to them. Because the Shabbos, as much as you reach the Shabbos, with Shabbos is Shmud Kitchevichi, there's much more hidden that you didn't reveal yet. How do you get there? Lech v'hoidia. It's exercising with your mind. Exercising your mind. A person comes on Shabbos, and then stop doing things you're not supposed to. Start talking things you're not supposed to. Ki'ilu kol melachtachu asir. Is melachtachu asir there? But then you have to work, exercise your mind. How do you exercise your mind? You exercise that there's a Alma dis Gaudi, there's a Alma dis Kasya. Shabbos is a more revelation of the Alma dis Kasya. It's called the Shuma Yesaya, because Baruch took off from the materialism and added on to the spiritualism. Then you have a day that you connect. So every mitzvah that a person does is before the mitzvah, he has to do it with full force, and prepare himself. And etc. Chassidim and Rishonim, you sit before davening, preparing themselves to davening, and after davening, they didn't do davening. So that was the tefillah, the connection one to another. Just as Mishanachos, other Ma'am Besimcha, the Chaim used to say, so Ranga and the Uden Mishnah Yiddish. And as we're coming back to David Melech, that will finish off. We said before, David Melech loy chuto, l'hoyres tshiva liyuchad. We say loy chuto. There is two parts of life. There's parts of nishma and na'asa. David Melech went through his life. He told the Ribbono Shel Olam, B'choneini, Hashem v'naseini. I'm in such a stage of libi chulu bekirbi harakti esitzay. I know how to do it. I'm clear. Everything is here. But Moshe told him, yeah, but that's not enough. What I created the world for is not to go out of the boundaries, to go out to see that you cannot do it, only I do it. Without a failure, you cannot get there. The David HaMelech went through the failure, not because he wanted to do the chet, as he wanted to reach through his failures to see that what's keeping him, Lila Hashem, Azu Salik, Kemat Shochno, Dima Nafshi. He changed his whole setting from B'choneini Hashem and Hashem, started saying Chetusi Negdisum and Machoivi Negdisum, and if I'm so full of blemishes and so full of kavim, so what's keeping me going? Shvisi Hashem Lenegdisum. We can understand in Simcha. I'll to meet you next week, Sunday again. Shkoyach Shloime, Shkoyach alle we zijn doen. Liebe, alle we zijn doen. Beziehen, ich will etwas fragen, kann fragen. Beziehen aus der Kasche, kannst du Englisch beziehen? Ich wüsste, du kannst Englisch.
Aber ich gesehen, also ich von Zeit der Welt hatte die Angst, die Yeshiva Faktor später, kein normal die Yeshiva über Yeshiva, ich habe verstanden, so gesagt, 10% habe ich.
Maya Shapira gesagt da Drusche, in New York auf Jiddisch.
Ja.
Ein Kind hat verstanden, was meint. Daddy gave der Zeit der Maße eingefallen am Wasser, Moshe Rabbeinu, dus, ja, der Engel hat sich geschleppt, Tata, Daddy, what is he saying? The Malsibi guitar, the language can't Yiddish. Poor old man, he was a child, he fell into water. Daddy, give him $5. The man is just so poor. How are you, Chesky?
Recording stopped.
I don't hear you. No, keep on going.
I have a question about one of the things that the Rebbe said in his daily Xizik.
Yeah.
Can I ask the Rebbe yet?
Yeah, I hope I remember what I said.
Okay, so just read it.
So with its work. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah. The Rebbe said about the B'Shem Abasher, the Talmud asked him about how he could get close to the Ribbono Shel Olam. He said because David HaMelech said, "Va'ani kirvas elokim li tov." The Rebbe said that you don't need a lot. You just have to hold yourself back from all the impure things that's surrounding you all the time. Right. I was wondering if the Rebbe can elaborate on the impure things that surround us all the time. What Rebbe was meaning by that.
So Bush used to say a person usually are very busy. I'm real. I'm an emes mensch. Bush says, emes is ushe tevis ani meshaker tamid. I'm always in a lie. As long as we are in this world, which is a world of alma de shikra, there's no such thing that you are a true person. There's only one thing that is true, that's the Ribbono Shel Olam, Hashem Elokeich and emes. Beyond that, there is no emes. Everything must be in their blemishes. Blemishes means we're bounded with our thoughts, bounded with our feelings, bounded in our doings, and all of it. So how do you connect to Ribbono Shel Olam? Any time that medvar sheket tirchak, which means you take away that you did something, so all you can do is pischeli pesach. You can only let me in there, but tell me that you're helpless and let me in. Once you're ready to recognize your helplessness, I'll get in there, and then suddenly Hashem Elokai yagia choshki. The Melech says Ke'ata tu aneri, Hashem Elokai yagia choshki. Stam v'lo pshat HaKadosh Baruch Hu light up my light, and yagia make light, make my darkness light it up. But Rosh used to say, Hashem Elokai helps me, Yagia, that it's not only I'm dark and while I'm not succeeding, but even when I am succeeding, is also there are certain places that I cannot get to the end. Then I see that even what I can do is also not me, it's you. So all we can do is let in a small space, let me into your house, just open the door a little bit, and I'll open up. I'll help you open up everything, because Rebbe says that the help that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us is Yitzhak Shel Udam is Gaber, that's the help that he gives us. All these emotions that we have, all these failures that we all of around, he's helping me to get to the Alma Disgadi. We cannot get there on our own, as we said before, that we don't volunteer for that.
Wow. So the impure things is just anything that's not the Rebbeinu Shalom.
Anything that you do, that you know, your shiftless brings in place for the godless. Any place that you surrender, Rebbeinu comes in and takes over. But now he takes over. He was there before. Just I was in denial that he was there. But there's no such thing that Rebbeinu is not there. It's just a question if I recognize, if I don't recognize. Baal Shem Tov Kodesh said away about Gav, we have a problem because Kodesh Baruch Hu just gives him as much as he needs just to keep him alive. But a person that is Tumei is a Shoich in Itam is Shoich Timoisim. Even in the Timah, Kodesh Baruch Hu is also there. As long as I'm not arrogant, as long as I'm letting him in.
Wow. Thank you so much.
All to.
Thank you. Thanks for the share also.
Anytime, call to Button.